Okay, 20 January. I'm going to get right to it. Got a good presentation coming up later on things etheric and Kim Goguen. Very interesting. But right now I'm going to get very pointed about star configurations and what has occurred through our age. The first star configuration will be what occurred on 23 September 2017 in the astrotheology that occurred to kick off the tribulation, the 7-year period that we're in the second half of right now. So let's take a look at those stars. Okay, in the Bible, in Revelation 12, it says, a woman was clothed in the sun, and the moon was at her feet, and she was pregnant and about to give birth. 12 stars were above her head, and that's the essence of Revelation 12. So if you'll notice this picture, this is from National Public Radio, so it might be a lie, but it might not be. So there's the sun. The brightest object here is at her shoulders. This is Virgo. So there's a woman who's clothed in the sun, and the moon is at her feet. Okay, and there's Jupiter, which has been gestating for 42 weeks. Every day you can see Jupiter. This day it popped out. Here's 3 planets that I should look up. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this was Mercury, Saturn, and our favorite 3. Mercury, Saturn, and Mars. Maybe. I don't know. But 3 planets were aligned here. And here's Regulus on top, which is in Leo. That's an addition that I'm going to come to later. But please know that on this date, Revelation 12 came to pass. So, after that, 1260 days later, things occurred that I talked about in my other presentation concerning this. After 23 September, we hit a halfway mark. Using calendars of different, you got to look hard at Israel and how time is measured and things like that. But regardless of how you carve it up, whether you use popes or the 360-day year that I'll transition to of Judaic calculation, you come up with these 2 options for Rabbi Ben David and Pope Francis to do what they did in March of 2021, which is the halfway point to 23 September. Okay, so that concludes that now. If you have any questions about why we're in the tribulation and astrotheology and Revelation and Apocalypse, please let me know. So let's transition to one more slide. This is a great one. Because this is troubles. Troubles. Go Gospel of Thomas. We got troubles. You're going to be astonished, and you're going to find out the universe is inside you. But we're slightly dimensionally off when we discuss that, because we're looking outside now at what's going on and what occurred on a special day. 9/11 3 BC up here. This you may have seen before. I used it for other videos to describe the measurement of ages and the earth as a compass that measures things. So, as fortune would have it, when I did this up, and I have no reason to tell you anything other than the truth, I wasn't consciously laying out these constellations like this. I mean, these are 2 significant ones, so it kind of fell out. And I'm not even 100% positive if these are in order, but I think that they are, only because I was trying to express the age of Aquarius. But up here, as it turns out, just as an expression, Virgo and Leo are hanging together. And as you can see in this star constellations, there's Leo to the northeast and Virgo over here, west of the sun. And again, here's your 3 planets. So this was just on that day, and then of course everything moves around. But on 9/11, 3 BC, please understand what conjunction occurred then. Now you're looking from the earth straight up. Okay, this was kind of a, let's call this a flat earth picture. It's not really a conjunction, it's laid out flat. Okay, this is not. This is, you're on the ground and you're looking up. When you get out your Kodak film to look at a total eclipse, that's what this day was. So here's the moon, here's the sun, here's Jupiter, and here's Regulus. That's what occurred on that day. Now, what was happening on the ground was a full pregnancy later, after Mary the Virgin and Joseph of David produced Yeshua, and he was born that day near Carmel. So that's why Sudi saw that image, and that's an explanation of that. Read Dolores Cannon, Jesus and the Essenes. Sudi was the teacher of Yeshua and Judaic law. And what's really interesting about that man is that if you want to find out what really happened with Moses, you're not going to get more clear than that. And he talked about what occurred in Egypt, and that the plague was brought in by the rats. Let's call it an angel of death story, which is, hey, people were dying from being bitten by rats. So the Jewish people were up on the high ground in quarantine because they were the alleged slaves of the day that had to do all the work. Now, how you manipulate consciousness to get work done, I can't address what a true work day was there, but apparently it was very arduous. We weren't there, we don't know. But they were on the high ground, and they were protected. So when the Egyptians all got bitten out, angel of death wise, then the release was permitted. And Sudi can tell it best version, Sudi's way. So it's important to read that book, because then you understand what really happened back then with Moses. Okay, the teacher of Mosaic law. And Yeshua and John the Baptist, his cousin, silver medalist on the contest of 1 month later or earlier, should we say, familial, his cousin, was taught, him and John together, with Sudi teaching them. Can you imagine that class? And John was about Moses, bringing it. Bring that ark. We own it. Bring it. And Sudi was, well, Yeshua, what would you say? And Yeshua went, oh, John, dear John. And John went, Yeshua, come on, man. Let's go. Come on, let's take a break. Sudi, come on. You're a good man, Sudi. We love you so much. Come on, let's go. Sudi, come on, break with us. Let's go hang out. Sudi was such a good guy. He commuted back and forth to Nazareth. You got to read the book, The Truth, Dolores Cannon. So Sudi told Dolores this. Now, he didn't say anything about 9/11. He just said 4 stars from 4 corners, peeps. So a total eclipse of the sun, there's 2. Use your brain to get the rest of the way. He was 12 years old, and he said, this is what Dad told me to watch. And I'm telling you. So if you want to use this as there's a term for the beginning of the year, Sukkot, I believe. That is the kickoff of the new year for calculation of time in Judaic Israeli belief. So the commonality of Judah and the Lion of Judah and all the ownership that all the Jewish people that have the tapestry that claim true Jewishness. If you're a good temple goer, yarmulke wearer, Torah believer, you made the commitment. Just like the Catholic guys went to Mass, our parallelograms went through their ascended wisdom of, okay, I'm going to go, now we all go get jobs. But this guy was the guy who's telling everything else. So that's the 4 stars. That's the 4 stars, guys. I'm going to do another video later on this Kim Goguen stuff, and I just want to keep this short, so I'm not going to go too long into it, but this is all about esoteric stuff that she introduced. I'm going to play a tape of her giving some discussion and some updates about January 22, 2022 activity and what I consider to be DNA transformative transmutation of everything. We were getting a t-shirt. So, peace, and we'll talk to you soon.